Right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. This is our review on our ultimate white tasting. Yes. Is it worth it to collect white wine? Hell, I can't even get a white wine prop for the review, but no, we have half a room of white wine here at the Wine Watch, and you know, whites do age incredibly well. I have to say, this tasting, we got like three of my highest scores here, three killer wines on the table this evening, and 95 bucks, man. This is the cheapest once in a lifetime tasting that we do, and there was a lot of great wines on the table. Even the entry level Bourgogne from Alex Gamble, the 2005, was still very good. You know, we showed this wine 2 times. Alex was here in February, and he was even surprised how well this is showing. 2005 was a really ripe and a really forward vintage. In the 2005s, a lot of the wines starting to peak already from the white section, but this wine definitely at its peak. It had that wonderful minerality that you get out of Burgundy, that limestone kind of character, the lovely tree fruit still here, maybe a little bit of oxidative character, but still plenty of fruit here to match, and for $23, what an incredible value. The Chateau Mousse Sour White, our first seeded wine, and this wine is from Lebanon. It's Obadiah and Merwa are the 2 grapes, which no one's ever heard of those grapes. And you know, a lot of the grapes came through the Middle East, into Greece, into Italy, and then the Romans propagated them throughout Europe. So these 2 grapes forgotten about, but makes a very interesting wine. Aged 9 months in oak, and then for 7 years in the bottle. Never forget the event we did with Serge Hokar, the owner, who passed away just recently in an auto accident, and we had his white and red back to 59, and I asked Serge how he wanted the wines decanted. He said, Andrew, start with the old whites first. So these wines can take quite a bit of oxidization. On the second day, this wine even better, a very exotic bouquet of white flowers, quince, kind of flinty, minerally notes, lemon citrus. On the palate, this wine's got a texture of whole milk, full throttle fruit, lots of that minerality from the nose through the finish, along with that white flowers, tangy kind of orange honey note, even better on the second day. This wine got 2 votes for second place, but most excellent on my scorecard. All right, the Bouchard Anne Elfiels, and this is the other Bouchard house, the Chassagne Montrachet Morgeau, which is one of the more popular Premier Crus. You can actually have several other Premier Crus that are around Morgeau named called Mergeau on the label because it's so popular. But this wine had a little bit of an oxidative note also on the nose. 2006, these wines you want to drink up from Burgundy. This wine had some nice fruit, though, peach and apple, some lemon meringue and creme caramel notes, and that limestone minerality really starting to predominate on the second day after this was open. Really nicely balanced with a solid core of tree fruit, and on the second day, definitely a little more together still than the Pay Chardonnay, which was our California Chardonnay. This wine got 3 votes for first place and 3 votes for second place, making it the second place finisher, but the most popular wine overall. Yay, Burgundy. All right, well, the Pay Estate Chardonnay from the Sonoma Coast. This wine on the second day kind of fell apart a little bit. It had a kind of a tequila-like peppery spice coming out to it, and still that pineapple candy-like fruit, creme flan, and a nice amount of fruit to the palate, really smooth and creamy. The nice balance of that peppery spice kind of sticking out on the second day. This got one vote for first place. All the wines got a vote at least on the table tonight, showing that we had a great tasting. The 2006 Guigal Hermitage Ex Voto, which is, they don't make a lot of white Hermitage, a blip on the radar map of the wine world, but this is a blend of 90% Marsanne, 10% Roussanne, aged for 30 months in Barrique. Wow, very steep slopes here. And, you know, this wine had a really intense bouquet, candied orange peel, beeswax, notes of crushed rock, white acacia floral notes, thick and viscous on the tongue, smooth and creamy. This wine had bright minerality to it, and even bigger on the second day. Layers of tree fruit, apricots, pears, peaches, a firm hand of acidity, and that crushed rock minerality, man, really pronounced. This wine had 4 votes for first place, making it wine of the night, and it was the most expensive wine on the table. The money wine wins out. Doesn't always happen that way. The Lucian Albrecht Klo Himmelreich. This is means heavenly wine of paradise in the Gaelic language, Goth language. Anyways, in German, this wine is a Clos, a single estate in a very tiny vineyard, 1.5 hectares, planted 100% Riesling, and the highest slopes there, totally surrounded by the Clos. One of the jewels of Alsace, and I don't think it's available any longer. You can't find this wine on the Wine Searcher. It has an incredible complexity. This 2001, a great vintage, and really intense nose of white peach, kind of wet stone and mineral notes, white flowers, thick and viscous on the tongue with that bright lemon and green apple fruit, thick, lots of acidity here, and a Nice, smooth, creamy texture. This wine got 3 votes for second place. I thought it was most excellent. The 96 Chouette Vouvray Clos de Bourg, one of the top vineyard sites. This is a Molieu in all of the Loire Valley, and that means it's a later harvest wine. Probably 30, 40 grams of residual sugar. A really exotic bouquet, lavender-like floral notes, apricots, peaches, kind of honey pear. Really intense, juicy fruit, and thick and viscous on the tongue. This wine had layers of that tree fruit, that honey floral notes on the finish, and wonderful acidity. This wine was perfect with the scallop dish that Tony prepared with the candied pink grapefruit, citrus, beurre blanc, and sweet potato mash. Wow, a home run. It got 3 votes for first place, putting it in third place overall. The Prume Weylander Saunier Spat Lace, one of the most famous Grand Cru vineyards, but because they make a sweet style, you can't use the GG, the Gros Gevex classification for this wine. That's only reserved for the whites. And confusing what's going on in Germany right now. But you got blue slate here. You notice that minerality and even more intense on the second day. Kind of white peach, candied apple, and white flower notes. Very rich. Lots of fruit here, but tongue-tingly acidity, keeping everything in balance. A little lime zest and that distinct slate minerality through the finish. Most excellent juice. This wine will last another 20 years or more. Oh, what a great vintage. And then this Perlat wine. Wow, this Munchoff, what an incredible wine. This is a tiny vineyard, 0.5 hectares, all red slate, really distinct. A lot of people feeling this is one of the greatest terroirs in all of the Mosel, and very different. This wine's got a spiciness to the bouquet, and on the second day, you really notice it even more. Kind of a sweet tart lime and peach fruit, honeysuckle floral notes, really thick and viscous on the tongue, and lovely layers in this wine, that peppery spice, like I said, coming out even more on the second day. Killer bottle of wine. This was also fantastic with the second course, our chicken Kiev with a Béarnaise sauce. Wow, rich and hey, not bad with the bacon covered, chocolate covered bacon either. That's what we had to drink with our vintage white tasting. I'm your host Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.